It's Friday.
It's Friday.
We made it.
We made it.
We made it.
We made it.
Some people didn't, but we did.
We
Amen.
did.
We made it. Tell it, Mo. Tell it.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. Thank you all for joining us. Another edition of My 2 Cents. Before we start today's show, it might be too early, but we have to give it up for those party people who are partying right now. Those birthday people, Brandy, Dwight, and Ebony.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Right here.
And you, wait a minute, but you getting ready to start partying, right?
Hey, I had to teach them how it's done, you know.
So it's always a party in the Mockins household. Make no mistake about it.
Did the party ever stop over there?
Miles, mi casa is su casa.
Yeah, make no mistake about it. It's always a party in East Cutler Bay.
Adjacent to. And we've kicked off Black History Month. We started celebrating Eldridge Williams, Tuskegee Airman.
That's right.
Yes.
Keep flying.
Yes, honoring Eldridge Williams for Black History Month. We'll be saluting many others this month. Guys, how do we not start this off talking about what happened with the lawsuit that was filed? Brian Flores, former head coach for the Miami Dolphins, filed a lawsuit. He named several teams as well as the NFL. Who did he name?
The Giants,
the Dolphins.
Was this
Giants,
the same
the
guy
Dolphins,
that said that
the
Broncos,
Broncos, and the Broncos.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mokita.
It is.
It's the same guy that he said they paid him
to lose games in Cleveland.
Games.
They was gonna pay him $100,000.
I thought that was here. I thought that was in Miami.
Well, actually, TT, what you have those are two separate, mutually exclusive incidents. Hugh Jackson, after Brian Flores came out and made the claim that the Dolphins had paid him, were implying that they offered to pay him to lose games. Basically, the old coach, the prior coach for the Cleveland Browns, Mr. Hugh Jackson, he came out and said that he made the same claim about the Cleveland organization as well.
Well, don't forget Marvin Lewis too. Now
he said something too. Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yes,
I didn't catch that.
So with the Carolina Panthers did the same thing, and so they had flown him out, and he was about to interview for the Carolina Panthers, and they had hired John Fox, and he is like, and had found out they were going to give him the offer, or they're going to extend it to John Fox before he got the interview. So it's like, you try to honor the interview and go through the process when you already have the answer and know the answer.
That's what happened with Brian Flores. He said that this text thread that I'm putting up right now, this is between Brian Flores and Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick tells Brian, "Sounds like you've landed. Congrats." Brian says, "Did you hear something I didn't hear?" Belichick says, "Giants." Brian says, "I interview on Thursday." Okay. I think I had it. Belichick says, "Got it. I hear from Buffalo and the New York Giants that you are their guy. Hope it works out." Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Brian said, "That's definitely what I want. I hope you're right, coach. Thank you." Then he asked for clarification. Coach, are you talking to Brian Flores or are you talking to Brian? How do you pronounce his last name?
Daboll.
Just making sure.
Yes. Are you talking to the black Brian or the white Brian?
And said, "Sorry, I effed this up. I double checked and I misread the text. I think they're naming Dabali. Is that what you said?
No, Dayball.
Dayball. I'm sorry about that, BB. Brian.
So look, after that one, there's a meme. Bill Belichick went and said, "Okay, I'm gonna change the names: Black Brian,
right,
and White Brian."
Yeah.
Ooh, that's funny.
That is terrible.
No, you know what, Mo? It absolutely is. But again, we're talking about an institution that has been mired in systemic racism.
Absolutely.
Since it began. An institution that has always pigeonholed African Americans to roles on the field, entertain, catch, and it starts with the whole black quarterback dynamic and how
go back further than that.
Well, no, but that's where I'm going. I'm going with the black quarterback because it starts there for me. Because remember, that's supposed to be the face of a franchise and a position where you have to read defenses and think. And we weren't qualified to do that, so we couldn't play quarterback. We had to change our position. Then
I thought you were going to say it mimics America.
No, it definitely does, Belinda. But what I'm getting at when I talk about the black quarterbacks and I talk about the coaches and I'm talking about the front office execs, it speaks to the fact that, hey, you can promote our product and you can score touchdowns and you can run and catch. You can run for touchdowns and catch footballs and make tackles, but you can't be in positions of leadership. You can't manage. You can't be an executive decision maker. You can't be an owner. You can't do any of those things.
Well, that's
where the role. You have a role, and you have to stay in your place. And that's what I was getting.
Goes across football, politics, just everything.
Welcome to America. Yeah,
100%. 100%.
Well, let me just say this though. There are some good things about the NFL, just like there are some bad things about the NFL, right? In some of the decision making. What has not been included, which what we're talking about, is the owners. We always talk about head coaching. We talk about, are we hiring enough black folk? That starts with the ownership. So when you go back to Colin Kaepernick, that goes back to the ownership. And what's happened is over a period of time, they are not included in the conversation. So you might have like the ESPNs who might front those conversations and speak on their behalf. You might have coaches that might be out on the front and speak on their behalf. And so I think there's some parts of the NFL that are good, that provide opportunity, but because you've earned that opportunity. But the reality is that there's a disparity amongst us as far as positioning, and that starts with the owners. So let's be specific. The owners are the ones that have to shift their mindset in order for us to have these opportunities. You're telling me I can manage the game as a black quarterback, but I can't manage it as a coach or a GM.
As an executive.
Right. As an executive.
Well, apparently, if you don't do what the owner says, then you're not allowed to be a coach in your own right.
Well, that's what happened. That's what happened.
Bill Belichick got to feel like did he make a statement after this? Because that was
he can't, Mokita. He can't, because here's the thing. You come under more scrutiny if you open your mouth, right? So what they do is they sit back and relax and let the NFL and the NFL system take care of what it needs to take care of.
Put that back up for a minute, Pick. Is this exactly how it looked?
That's exactly what it was.
Okay, well, there's no phone number. There's no, like you can't, this could be anybody texting. You know what I mean?
It could be, but
we know what it is.
Oh, wait a minute. E-Dub. Roll.
Okay.
Hey!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
To you.
Shining bright like a diamond.
It's my dog birthday. It's my dog birthday. It's my dog birthday.
Hey.
So you're turning up at the Urban tonight, right?
Yes, I can't wait to see you all there. Please make sure you come through. Myself, I gotta give a shout out to all of the Aquarians here, but special shout out to my birthday twin, Senator Dwight Bullard, in his absence. So much love to you too. So yes,
Latif said he gonna pick me up at the airport, so I'm gonna be there.
Yes. Oh, come on. Leave that chilly weather for a minute and come turn up with us.
Right.
That was a PSA brought to you by the birthday queen.
Right.
That was good. But Mokita, no, actually the text thread on another visual, like the one that he showed on Good Morning America, because Brian was interviewed.
Okay.
It had the gentleman's name on it. Yeah.
All right.
But I mean, you can say something. You can put whoever name it around in your phone. But I just don't think that he would add that or put it out there.
And it's not right.
It was not real. And we were talking about this in a production meeting, that this gentleman, Brian, probably has had a number of things happen to him through his journey as being a coach, a head coach, denied different opportunities and seeing disparities. And from what I understand, he has kept the receipts.
Well, honestly, Ms. Mockins, if we're looking at the situation objectively as football fans, he should have never been fired from the Dolphins in the first place.
Exactly.
So we talk about the Dolphins started off having a very rough season. They were 1-7, and then they went on like a 7-8 game winning streak.
Right.
Ended up getting one game within the playoffs. They fell short and didn't make the playoffs.
Right.
So the reasoning that was given that gave credence to the reason he was fired, they said that, hey, Mr. Flores, you're difficult to work with. You don't get along well with people. You have this combative personality, and him and the GM, who we have to give this disclaimer. The Dolphins GM is an African American, Chris Greer, one of the few in the NFL.
What's his last name?
Chris Greer. His last name is Greer. Supposedly they couldn't get along. But my question when I'm having this discussion is always, how many white coaches with winning records are fired because they couldn't get along with front office people? Because do you get is that zero? Is that a fireable offense, or is that an offense where
zero people have been
fired? The GM and maybe the executive VP of player personnel, they call you into their office and they say, "Hey man, listen, we need to try to get on the same page." And you give them a reprimand and you say, "Hey, listen, you have some ways about yourself where there's some things that we think we need to correct. We like the product on the field, the direction that we're trending. However, we need you to get along better with the team so that we can be all on the same page." Do you think that we can do that? Because I tend to believe
$100,000 when we tell you.
I tend to believe that the white coach gets the warning
and lose the game. I said lose the game.
And when we won the game, that's when it started to be a downfall for him.
You labeled that because you don't. Here's the thing: when they told him, "Hey, I'm gonna pay you $100,000 to lose every game," right? And you don't agree. Not only do you not agree, you disagree with having that meeting. Then they, from what I heard or understand, is that
it is alleged.
Allegedly had another meeting set up so you can talk about who your quarterback was and when the draft came around, right? And you say, you know what, I don't know where this is going, so guess what? I'm not going to meet with you either.
I'm not going to meet.
When you decide not to meet, now you're disagreeable, and guess what? You're not even a team player.
Right.
And so now they label you as not being a team player, and the reality is that there's a whole lot of power in being disciplined within the system of the NFL and of the Miami Dolphins when you don't agree with it.
Exactly.
And so, but I think Flores found out how black he was when he had a winning record. You found out how black he was.
I applaud him. I applaud him, for standing up and voicing his his disagreements with the system and taking that risk, right? Because he knows that essentially, the same thing that happened to Colin Kaepernick is most likely going to happen to him, right? He's going to be blackballed. He's not going to be able to get any position in the NFL ever again. But he understood, he said in his statement, that he understood what he was doing when he decided to do it. And he felt that speaking his piece was more important, than any dollar that he ever earns from the NFL again. So for that, I definitely give him big kudos because, like you said, Roy, it's hard to hold to your integrity and to what is true for you, when you're in a system like that. So
and what it has essentially done is it has opened a can of worms with regards to the competitive integrity of the NFL, because we're talking about a league where billions of dollars is gambled every Sunday on teams under the premise that everybody is trying their best to win this game.
Right.
And you have coaches. You have coaches and owners that are actually throwing games. So we have
isn't that like almost like you're betting on the game?
No, you are
betting on the game.
You are betting, right? I'm saying, but isn't that illegal?
Listen, that's the reason why Pete Rose is not in the Baseball Hall of Fame. For that
so
reason.
It sounds like though
I'm saying
he's going on all through the league.
Miles, he was betting against his team though. Miles, that's what we're talking about.
But it's more about the gambling. It's more about the gambling. He just thought his team.
I understand that, but I'm gonna say this:
he wasn't telling them to throw games though.
Right?
Exactly. Right? No, he's right. But Brian Flores either has one or two things. He either has receipts or he got naked pictures of your wife. Right, so that's all.
But it sounds to me like this is something that's going on in the league as a whole across the board. So now he's pulling the blanket off of this, and it's not just his team; it's a whole bunch of teams. So how long has this been going on in the background?
Right. So I was very confused as to why they would pay him to lose a game. I'm like, why would they do that? Because I'm not really into all of that.
Because they want
to. But then when I found out that the draft picks, the lower your ranking is, the higher your draft pick is. And I was like, you know what? That's not good, because that means that people have been doing this on purpose.
Oh yeah, that's here to answer the April question. Is this illegal?
This ain't nothing new. Listen, why do you think the Raiders are in Vegas?
No, I'm saying, isn't that illegal? It's like
a gambling perspective. That's all.
But the question is on the table.
You're paying somebody. You're paying somebody to throw the game. You're paying
somebody that you employ. This is all of your system.
The game.
Yeah.
Isn't that illegal?
I would, of course.
I think it's not. I don't think it's illegal.
Right.
I think it's unethical.
To answer your question, TT, I would say that technically speaking, no, it's not illegal per se. Is it immoral and unethical?
Of course, that I know.
100%.
But this gives me a little Martha Stewart vibe. Remember, a couple weeks ago, I was talking all about Martha Stewart and saying what was wrong with her doing that. This is the same thing.
Yeah. Because Martha Stewart was making money.
But at the end of the day,
listen, no, if you're telling
a publicly traded company,
I'm going to Vegas online and I am betting against the team that I am working for, and I'm gonna win.
Well, don't tell me you're doing it. Okay, don't tell me you're doing it, because if they ask me, I'm gonna have to tell them I know.
And then I'm gonna have to tell them
you don't really have to
relish in all of the rewards from it.
That's why I'm telling you, don't tell me.
I'm gonna have to go
not tell me where the rewards came from.
Turning down no airplane ticket or no check.
Don't tell me where it came from.
Don't turn down nothing.
Here's the big difference between Martha Stewart and the NFL.
So when I get on the stand, I won't be lying.
The NASDAQ, the NYSE, they all have this thing called the Securities and Exchange Commission,
right,
which monitors the activity of what's going on in that. NFL don't have that, and therein lies the big difference.
Well, not only that,
I'm not saying that legally it's the same.
Went to the NASDAQ. My goodness,
that's
Miles.
not what I'm saying.
Let everybody know how
they have a governing body. Hey, and the SEC is pretty much the FBI of stock trading. So
at the end of it, he still was doing it to make a gain.
Who?
He was the owner was doing it to make a gain.
Right, but see, April, I think what you've done is
tell me what I've done.
You've conflated the issue.
I've made it simple.
You talk about gaining position in the draft. There's a difference.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, but see what I'm talking about.
You can win from that. You can profit from that.
Yeah. You can profit from that.
What I'm talking about is the gambling aspect. I thought that's what she was talking about. Like
gambling. I'm saying it's very similar to gambling because you're gonna get a profit from it at the end of this. If we lose everything, we're gonna get the top pick for whatever we need.
Right.
You know, which is gonna bring us profit
the following season.
Right, but it's still a crapshoot in the sense that, again, TT, the NFL draft is an inexact science. So just because you tank the season to get a higher draft pick, it doesn't necessarily mean that the player that you draft is going to turn out to be all pro or all anything. He could end up being a dud. He could end up being. You could end up with Dan Marino. You can end up with Peyton Manning.
They're betting on.
Hold on.
Getting a good player.
You can end up with Dan Marino. You can end up with Peyton Manning. You might end up with Jamarcus Russell. You might end up with Jeff George.
They're betting on picking up a good player.
Right.
Miles,
usually is what happens.
Because we might get a good player.
This is a gamble to end up being like.
Yes.
This is going to end up being like, it seems like the Me Too movement when one person came out. Ooh, and a whole bunch of other people kept coming out.
Disgruntled
seems like it's getting ready.
Well,
I don't think so.
And the guy, I was gonna say
have to be disgruntled.
The reason why I disagree to a certain extent is because I just don't feel like there are enough. Because remember, the whole premise, right, is that there aren't enough.
Enough black people. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, there are not enough black coaches and GMs.
But it's enough players.
Right.
The players would support this issue.
Yes.
You would not.
Now then that would be a movement mode.
Right.
If the players
if the players would support the coaches.
Yeah, they would already happen.
You already know it's not going to happen.
It should be a movement and not a moment. It's going to be a moment.
But that's the same thing. That's the same thing.
It definitely
that they were talking about on I Am Athlete. Like they were saying, like you guys were afraid to stand up because
they were.
Yes. Agree.
Remember, plantation mentality.
I was
Randy Marshall talked about that.
Right out of my mouth. You took the words right out of my mouth.
When the whole Colin Kaepernick thing went down, that he was. They had a discussion in the locker room. And he says he is remorseful now that he didn't take the stand of kneeling with Colin Kaepernick when he had the opportunity, because he did. He said, because the first thing on his mind was, man, how's that going to affect my money? How's that going to affect my bag?
Like Harriet Tubman said, I could have created all y'all. Y'all knew you were slaves. Y'all don't know y'all slaves.
Right.
Right. Ooh, you better say it, doggone Harriet.
Well, Belinda, here's what happens. When something happens in the NFL with players, what's the first thing the NFL does? They're going to fine them, right? So what they think as a player, this money means something to them. That's why a guy like Kyrie. Hold on. That's why a guy like Kyrie Irving is not moved by it, because he's like, hey, I got my money. I'm secure. I'm an all-star. I'm a Hall of Famer. I got a family. I got this and that. And money's not moving me. I'm
about to come over to your house, Roy. I'm going to tell you right now. Listen, y'all keep saying the organization. The organization only does what the owners tell them to do.
Facts.
The owners have created this. They have created everything good, bad, and ugly within this organization.
I think you all are on the same page.
We're on the same page. But Linda, what I'm saying is what they do is they make money, players and the owners in the league, they make money to be that driving factor. So what happens is in your mindset, you go, oh, I'm focusing on what I'm going to lose, which is money monetarily. I'm going to lose it. So I'm going to be quiet. And the reality is guys like a Kyrie Irving, they go, oh, I don't care if you find me or take money from me. I got a bigger purpose and cause. And so what happens with a lot of these players, if you can steal their identity through money, they're going to back down.
Yeah. It goes back to also, Roy, very quickly.
They don't have a union, huh?
No, they do. They do. They have a collective bargaining agreement.
Just let them have one.
There's a collective bargaining agreement, and that's been one of the main points of contentions with the NFL players because they have always said we need to get stronger like the NBA guys.
Yeah,
they need to. They do. But see, the difference between NBA contracts and NFL
NBA guys are smarter.
No, well, NBA contracts are guaranteed.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, right. Miles,
which makes them smarter, like Belinda said.
Right. But Miles, here's the thing for everybody: the difference between the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, and all the major sports, the NFL is the only league that has their own in-house legal counsel. So if something has to be managed out with the NFL or with the NBA or Major League Baseball, they go look and seek outside counsel, which is neutral. The NFL has internal. You have to deal with an internal legal process in the internal legal team. And that right there, they work for the NFL. So what are they
right? So ultimately, Roy,
they're a part of the plantation.
They're on the plantation.
Ultimately, Roy,
like you.
They the overseers.
Right.
That's their fault because they agreed to that. They agreed to that. They agreed to that.
They agreed. That might have already been in place years ago, and they just stuck to it. They might not have a vote for that, Miles.
But they do, Roy. They do.
We all agree. Before they sign the game agreement, every time we buy a jersey,
they can say, "Hey, man, listen. This particular byline in this contract, we need to change that. We need to address that." They can do that.
What about us? We're responsible too. We agree to that same system every Sunday, Monday, whenever the games are. I don't watch NFL. Yeah. Whenever y'all are yelling and screaming downstairs, y'all are in agreement with what's going on.
I haven't watched the football games since
you're right.
When you are, and this is a very small group, but when you are not free, you are subject to the discretion of your employer. It's not just the NFL.
That is correct.
Not just the NFL.
That is correct.
It is everyone who is living above your means, and you are working for someone else. And even when you work for yourself and you decide, I'm going to step out on faith, and I don't care how much you're paying me, you can take the contract. I'm done. Because you don't even know what you're doing. It's about understanding.
Don't say no names.
Wait a minute.
Yourself.
Don't say no names.
Wait a minute.
Say no names.
We get ready. Let's change the topic.
We're gonna have to roll with the Bible.
We got the Bible.
She's preaching. Hold on.
Don't you say no names.
We get ready to change the topic. Reread.
Yay.
Reread. Yes. Yes. Did you guys see this?
Yeah, congratulations.
They look really happy.
This guy said, you see, she waited till she was a billionaire before she had a baby.
What does that
she
mean?
looks extremely happy.
Who knows, girl? I'm just telling you what they said.
I mean, now she can just really be a mother. She ain't got to grind.
What does that mean?
Right. We were talking about her a couple of months ago, saying, did she know that she was involved with this guy? You remember that? Do you guys remember that? No.
Now, what does he do? He's a rapper, right?
Yeah. He was going around doing all this talking about how much he was in love with her, and we were like, well, "Does she know that he's in a relationship with you?"
We were like,
"I'm not really sure."
Well, I think she knows now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I just know that Chris Brown and Drake aren't very happy about that, and I'm just gonna leave it there.
Oh, she dated Drake too.
Who is
Chris Brown and Drake? They don't care.
Chris Brown, but I didn't know she dated Drake.
They don't care. Let her have a baby and get rid of ASAP Rocky, and they'll be trying to get with her still. That don't even matter.
They remind me of Janet and Jane if they had only been able to make it.
Didn't she say that he cheated on her?
That is what she said. That is what he confirmed. Is what
he said too. He said that. Yeah,
he said it.
Really? Okay, so that's not an alleged.
You just not good enough. I mean, what, like, sir? Okay.
Right.
Sorry.
Exactly.
Sorry, I was having my own. I couldn't verbalize what I was feeling.
I found it crisscross. What are you talking about?
Listen,
no, he said that.
Right.
He said that when he started with Janet, all of these women started becoming attracted to him, and he had never actually experienced.
That means that need to make you think.
When I tell
when you were by yourself, the same people were around and they ain't like you.
He has the confidence.
Don't even sound right.
Yeah, he does.
I'm not saying it, but I'm saying it, huh, TT?
I'm not saying it, but what I had said is what I had said. Okay?
I remember I remember when JD and Janet were together. One of the secretaries in the aviation department when I worked, they used to always say, "Why she want to date this little ugly man?"
Your brother said it. He said it. Your brother said it.
Miles, you said it because I was like, "Why?"
And I used to tell her, I used to be like, you must not know who Jermaine Dupri is. She said, but he's ugly, Miles. What? She this little ugly man. I said, Rich.
JD came around at the right time and whispered in the ear.
When I think about it, I mean, their money can't be too far different.
Well, what she said was the reason why she did date him was, and this, I don't know if this is in a documentary or not, but I do remember this, that he was the one who pursued her. He had enough in him to feel like he was supposed to be with her. And many men discredit themselves. And that is very evident in when you're working. When you're in a documentary, pursuing someone, your confidence level, and that can attract you to or turn you completely off.
He said he told her, "You don't know who I am now, but I'll be back." I said,
he said that in the documentary.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Well, you ain't got nothing to lose. You ain't got nothing to lose. Go ahead.
He said he made
Go ahead when you ain't got nothing to lose.
Let me tell you something. His confidence level is just way.
I'm gonna show y'all after the show.
Why not?
For her birthday party that she had here in Miami.
But she looked like
she handed out a Karma Sutra. Is it Karma Sutra?
Oh yeah.
These were like dust. You supposed to play
and a little feather
over your body. It could be eaten off, and then it has a little feather.
I still have that thing somewhere around here.
Miles, she said that he made her laugh, and that was something she needed, and he always made her laugh.
Miles didn't hear nothing about laugh. He heard Karma Sutra. You know,
I sure did.
I
sure did, Roy. I'm glad you know, Roy.
Yeah, she said she wanted to. She thought she would.
As many babies as he wanted. She was going
hey, Roy. We can laugh after we get to the Karma Sutra. Right. We can laugh together after.
That's exactly where you lose the woman house.
Get away.
Speaking of cheating, the feminist herself put this inside of our
I'm so glad. I'm
Randy,
so glad we're
really?
gonna talk about this. I'm so glad we're gonna talk about this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So let me bring everybody up.
What did it say at the bottom? Was that the wife's response?
I'm gonna bring everybody up to speed. So what happened was
this is crazy.
This young lady met a man on the shore in Miami. And she was so fond of their conversation that she decided to post a picture which looked to me like her friend who was sitting on the shore decided to film them and took a screenshot. So she took the screenshot and posted it on TikTok and asked people to help her find him.
Months later, not right away.
Right. She met him in Miami and she wanted
numbers.
Did they? I don't think so.
Wait. That's what she was saying. That I gave him my number, or that he gave me his number, or something like that. And he came back and was like, none of that happened.
No, he didn't give her his number.
He said he didn't do that.
Oh, okay. Because his wife gave her his number. But let me just finish with the story. Let me just finish. So she said, well, the post that I saw, it said she didn't even know his name. Okay. She wanted to find who the guy was that she met in Miami because she was so smitten with him. Social media, do your thing. So the wife responds, and it's like, his name is so-and-so, so-and-so, and here's his phone number, and he has 12 kids or whatever.
Oh, boy.
No, it was like 5.
You're exaggerating now.
No.
That's hyperbole. That's a gross exaggeration. That's hyperbole. That's hyperbole. For dramatic effect.
Don't be on the defense. I'm on his side, okay?
I know you are. I know you are.
So just relax.
Calm down. Calm down.
Sit down somewhere. So then she says, don't tell him or don't delete the video. The girl says, I'm not gonna call him. And then she says, well, don't delete the video because he's gonna say that it didn't happen, whatever. But there was this conversation about the fact that he was lying in his explanation of what happened. And that he actually was trying to get with her. And he was like, if I was trying to get with her, I would have got with her. But I never talked to that girl anymore after we had that 5-7 minute conversation on the beach. So that's what happened, Mokita. Mosherie Beach. That's what happened.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave it alone.
Okay, go on, say it.
I say, and Miles knows this as well, and any of y'all who play sports, it's, to me, if you're an athlete, it's about positioning yourself in the best position to be successful. If it's basketball, best position to score a basket, football, best position to pass or catch or whatever. He did not position himself in the right place and at the right time, because you ain't had no business, to me, hugging up on some stranger up in the water. And that's part of the problem. Now, whether they exchanged numbers or not, which I don't think they did, that's a whole nother conversation. But the reality is that it's not a good look. It's not a good look to me.
Right.
Not at all.
I'll go second. I would have to say, Roy, that I concur with you. I think it is my brother that said it best, my brother above me, that said, as a married man, don't put yourself in dangerous positions. Period. Don't put yourself in dangerous positions. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want anybody to perceive, because what happens when the story is left untold, right? People start to do what? They make up their own stories. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They start to say, well, what if this happened, or did this happen, or whatever. And as a married man, the person who you have to answer to is your wife.
Right.
You should never have your wife in that position where she's having to guess or wonder or even think that you were doing something that you should not have been doing. Now,
other people pointed out, Ebony, that he did not have his wedding ring on.
Right, he did not have his wedding ring on.
Would just get worse.
Okay, but I at first I said I saw that, and because somebody had said it in the comments too, but then I was like, okay, but he was at the beach.
Right.
No. That's when you're supposed to have it on. Make sure it's the right size and it won't slip off.
Yeah, but I don't know, because
in the water, I'm not wearing my
in the water. Yeah, like some people don't.
You an extra one that you ain't scared to lose.
Some people don't. Some people don't wear their rings in the water. But I did think about that. But then I thought about where they were. So that's people's opinion. Mo says nope, you still need to have it on. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. You at the beach. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to risk losing it. You don't want it tarnishing. The salt water can, have a negative effect on the different metals.
We get a vacation ring. But, you know what I'm saying? We get a golden vacation.
Yeah, there's a lot of
that's
something that could be discussed. But
the problem is, why you in that picture with that girl?
No, that's not the problem.
It's a lot of things that it could go both ways. You know what I'm saying? Because
why did she wait?
I'm like, okay,
from vacation time to post
he took a picture with this girl. He took a picture with this girl or whatever. But then the girl is saying that she don't even know his name. So it's like,
That's my thing.
That's why I'm like,
I have a problem with the girl more than I have with him.
He was really trying to get with her. I mean, he would have at least told the girl his name,
Well, why you in the picture hugging her?
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Let me see.
I was just licking her face. What are you talking about?
Good.
I don't even know her name.
No, what are you hugging this girl? You don't know.
Mo, you know what? I want to go last.
I
want to go last.
Absolutely.
Mo, if you come down here, you're gonna get about 15 hugs from people you don't know.
Ms. Mawkins, I want to go last.
Belinda, listen.
That's so funny, Mokita.
I was at an event one time, right? And I'm standing there with a guy. I said, sweetheart, let me go get you want a drink? Let me go get you a drink, right?
Yeah.
So I go grab her a drink and I go to the bar and I come back with the drink and I'm standing there with this guy, right? But as I'm coming back from the bar, there's a table full of women looking at me. You know, it happens all the time. But that's just
let's add. No. Let's add your location. You were not in Miami.
I was in Atlanta, and we were like at an HBCU alumni event. I didn't go to no HBCU, but here's what happened.
They couldn't tell you PWI. Dang.
Huh?
Keep going.
Well, no, they thirsty in Atlanta.
Okay.
No, they're not. Mokita, they're not only thirsty; they're dehydrated.
Yes.
But I go back and I'm standing there with this guy with my drink in my hand, and we're just talking. But I see these women with this table getting up, not one, like three of them, and they start walking towards me, and I'm like, I don't know now one of y'all, and I don't know why you're walking toward. Hey, we want to get a picture. I said, listen, I don't think that's a good idea.
Exactly.
No. Let's just get this picture. No, hey, babe, hold on. Hold on. Babe, these women are trying to get a picture. At this point, I seen all
and I am across the room and I let them know there is no need for him to get in anybody's picture. He did not go to a HBCU.
Never.
No, he's not getting in your picture. Bye.
But
in the story.
But here's the thing: there's a way to conduct yourself in that moment, because I think we all have been faced where you have a moment where somebody, man or woman, is going to approach you. I'm talking about for women, men. They're going to approach you, and you have to make a decision on what you think is right.
Yeah.
Right. And I think for him, you're in the water. Now, here's the thing: the woman didn't know his name. They didn't exchange information. But the reality is, when that woman came up to hug him, when she did, at that point, you're not supposed to even accept the hug.
And it's COVID.
You're in the water, and you're in the water.
Yeah. And it's COVID. That's right.
So it's just you got to make better decisions, even though we know ultimately they did not exchange names, numbers, or anything. But that's why it's questioned.
That's why I said he was doing the most and nothing at all at the same time.
At the same time.
Showing
out in South Beach again.
His voice.
If I see my wife doing that and hugging up with some in the water, this ain't gonna be this kind of a conversation. I'm just letting y'all know that right now.
Oh, all right now.
Miles. Go ahead and say what you gonna say.
Come out, PWI.
Go ahead, Frankel. Go ahead.
No, I'll turn that whole campus and that beach will be dry after I'm done.
Not dry. Hey, what about the boys? So you talking about your wife got me out here just
you gonna move the water?
I'm like, boy, you don't stop.
You gonna park the ocean out there, bro? You gonna park the water?
It's gonna be dry.
It's gonna be like, dry land.
All right, Jessica. Stay on the dock.
No entanglement. I stopped with all
that. Come on now. Are you gonna say something or not?
I just want to make sure everybody's finished. I just want to make sure.
Go ahead. Switch the topic because entangle not trying to.
Number one, she didn't even know that dude's name. Number two, she had no contact information to get in touch with him. She had to put an APB out on social media in order to get in contact with him. Number three, this picture that everybody is vilifying this man for, it didn't even look like on one of those, it didn't even look like they knew that he was taking a picture.
Oh, no, they looking in the same direction, Miles. They're looking in the same direction, Miles.
Right, that second one. But here we are on Miami Beach. I'm with my homeboys, an attractive young lady is interacting with me. We all interacting with each other. She asked me for a picture. Right now. I might not want to be.
You're supposed to say the girl ugly, Miles. Come on, know the game.
I don't want to be the a-hole guy. Hey man, yeah, we could take a picture. That's fine. To me, that's innocent. What's not innocent would be if she was turned around, twerking on him, bent over, grabbing her ankles, and he had a video or a picture of that. That's something totally different. But what we're talking about here, to me, is innocent social interaction. Now, one can argue and debate whether he put his marriage in a compromising situation. I'm not going to debate that point. But what I am going to debate is the fact that I don't see anything that this brother did wrong. Period, point blank in the discussion. Especially because at the end of the day, based on that interaction, if he wanted to hit, if he wanted to smash it, if he wanted it to be something, it could have been something. Anyway.
Let me say this. I am speaking from the point of view of a woman who was married to a man who cheated.
Okay, that's fair. That's a very
important caveat to this.
Look at Roy.
That's fair, Mo. That's fair, Mo. And Mo, and I understand
that. That's why we gotta have a vacation ring. You know what I'm saying?
I understand that, Mo. Because because now
don't matter anymore.
No, I think it does because I think all bets are off.
No, I'm talking about. I'm saying that's why I'm saying where your vacation ring at? Because I've been in a situation like that.
But Miles, to Miles' point, ring or no ring, if he wanted to do something, it would have happened. But the reality is that I still believe that her intentions might have not been in the right place, and you have to question even his intentions with the pictures. That's what I'll just say.
He was showing out with his friends. That's what it was.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. Let me ask you this: would any of you guys would appreciate, even if I was showing out with somebody on the beach? None of y'all would appreciate that.
Oh no, I would have been like,
why are you even making yourself an example in this situation?
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying
like the people who he hang around ain't right about nothing either.
But when Miles was speaking, it made me think of like the kind of like the culture, right? So like that's kind of like Miami Beach culture. You know, like if you Miami Beach, or if you say go to if you've been to Daytona Black Beach, like that's
a beach party in Galveston.
Yeah, you that is kind of the culture. Like, you know, you hanging out, you see different people, whatever, like, you know, and it is innocent. So that did give me a different perspective on it. But
until you have to fight,
you still don't put yourself in danger.
Like I said, for me, I'm looking at that picture and it's completely different. If she turned around, she got her leg up, he holding her leg, something like that. That's something totally different. That looks like a innocent social exchange. Nothing more, nothing less. And I think it's being blown out of proportion, period. And what gives me that particular implication about that interaction, she didn't even know his name. Like, do you realize, like, she didn't know anything about that dude? She didn't know his name. She didn't know his phone number. She didn't know his Instagram. She didn't know his email. She didn't know anything about him.
She went home like, oh, what was that boy name?
Yeah, like she didn't know anything about him.
She was acting like she was at Freaknik 95.
That's what I was thinking, you know, because you meet somebody,
the culture,
you dance, you go home, that's it. You don't know nothing about them. Y'all didn't exchange those numbers. Y'all didn't exchange no names. You had fun, and that was it.
That's funny, Roy.
Roy said, stop talking. Roy said that is enough.
Don't slip. Yeah, you know, so went out. Hey, watch yourself now.
I'm just upset that months later she's going through her pictures and like, oh, let me find out who he is.
That was right. Why did I think?
Well, that's why we have social media. She used it for what it is used for.
Right, but that's not his. And I'm fine with that, April. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with her using it to find him. I don't have a problem with that. But that's not his fault, though.
No, I mean, it's not his fault,
but I kind of do what it's like. That does make you a little like thirsty, like it does. Yeah. And you have to break up. You have to break up a happy home over anything about him.
Right.
He ain't had no business in that picture with that girl. I don't think.
No, I agree with you. I mean, so I think there's a time and a place for everything, right?
He got his arm all around her. They in the water.
He was not.
They frolicking.
It looked like she went up.
You make it seem like the man got a handful of ass cheek. The man
went up and hugged him.
They in the water frolicking. He got
frolicking.
He was not.
And he got his arm like around her back.
Yes.
Like it's not. No, I'm saying it's on her back. Like it's not on her butt or on.
Yeah, of course.
Which is the butt is Miami culture. The butt is Freaknik culture.
That is frolicking.
I'll tell you this,
that is not frolicking. Stop.
Have some culture. If I see a nigga's arm around my wife's back,
that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. That's what I'm saying.
Did y'all hear his interview?
When you are out there and you out there just showing out, you gonna do. They do the most, right?
Did y'all hear his interview?
But that's what
I'm saying. He came on.
It again, if he wanted something or
if he
really
wanted it, he could have done that.
Could have been because look,
I heard his
back there. Right, exactly, Roy.
He's not that
back there.
Exactly.
And he could
have definitely taken a picture like that.
I heard the interview.
Moment, he chose not to do that.
Belinda, what did you just say?
I said, did you hear his interview afterwards? Because he did a little interview, a little monologue afterwards.
Stop, honey. Wait. Let Belinda say it. What?
I'm just saying he's just not that bright to put all of this together.
Exactly.
No. One moment. Let me bring everyone up to speed. We have someone on the show who sounds just like him. Very bright. But my point is that they're Miami dudes, and that's how they sound. That's how they express themselves. And if you put yourself,
this is not a Miami dude.
He sounds just like Yes.
No,
ma'am.
Yes,
no, ma'am.
Yes, darling.
No, ma'am.
I'll help you off the show after. We can get off. I
don't even know what's going on.
We need
y'all ready to get good. Too bad y'all won't hear it.
Yeah.
He can barely speak.
No.
Mokita talking about something.
No.
That's how it was.
Frolicking.
Where is he from? He is not from Miami.
Yes.
I'm talking about the guy in the video.
Yeah. No, I think he is.
He was visiting from somewhere else.
No, it doesn't sound like it.
I don't think he's from Miami. Yeah, I'm with Belinda on that.
Okay, I'm gonna bring you all up to speed, and
I'm about to call him right now because I got his number.
You ain't gonna call him, Belinda. It don't matter. You ain't gonna call him.
You got this number, and the girl in the bathing suit couldn't get the number B.
Hello.
Okay, guys. Last topic. Oh no, this is not the last topic. Oh, we ran out of time. Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg, viewed as anti-Semitic comments, has 2 weeks off from work at
plantation.
Right.
But see, that's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. You're always beholden to the employer. It doesn't matter if you're in the NFL or what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you're free and you're living below your means, then you're not subject to the same thing, and you can be like, you know what, I'm good. Right. 2 weeks, you putting me on 2 week vacation, administrative leave?
Me?
No, you get 2 weeks on a replacement. I don't need
Goldberg. That's a Jewish name.
Her last name is Goldberg.
That's what I thought. I was like, isn't she Jewish?
No, but you gotta listen to what she said, though. I mean, she said it was about humanity versus race. And I think the thing is that, is it being called race because during that time Hitler says that he wants to get rid of that race? Was Hitler right or wrong by calling calling it a race?
Right, and calling them a race, and then saying that he needed to get rid of them. I mean, first of all, you're not saying, if you're saying that they need to be extinguished, but then you're going to go down the path of believing that because of his rationale, then what she's saying is wrong.
Right. So are you agreeing with Hitler, or that's really should be the question, right?
Right.
But I still believe part of it is that what Whoopi said is still, listen, racism or not, however you look at it, it's still about humanity. At the end of the day.
And it was wrong.
And it was
right.
wrong.
And I think that you have to be sympathetic and understand that at the end of the day, like you said, this is more of a human issue, and you have to be humanly sympathetic to another person's or another racist cause, another racist oppression, and another racist perspective.
Yeah.
And if your point of view lacks perspective, it can be hurtful. Period.
I don't think that she was trying to be.
I don't think so either. I didn't say she was. Saying. I'm just saying that sometimes you might say things out of the ignorance of not knowing, TT. Because white people do it all the time.
But she came back and immediately apologized.
Right, apologized. She
did that. That's Ebony trying to get her background together.
All right.
Me clear my throat.
Telly,
Oh, okay.
No, not yet. No. On my thing.
That was funny. Go ahead, Belinda. What were you saying?
I was just listening.
Oh, okay.
She said I was just listening to Ebony.
Well, Ms. Markins, I just want to say that there was no frolicking going on in that video.
No, there was not. I'm completely with you, sir. Sometimes we don't agree.
I don't know what Mokita perceives as frolicking, but that was not frolicking. That was not it.
But I will say it goes
some
back
videos
to,
on to show you some frolicking.
Mo, that's coming from an expert, an ex-expert frolicker. Ex-expert frolicker.
Right.
Okay. Ebony, I don't know if he's an ex the way he's been talking about. Because chandeliers and entanglements, and then he gonna throw old fashioned in the same sentence. Boy, if you don't stop it, only thing old fashioned about Miles is the donuts he buys. That's about it.
I'm gonna give 30 seconds to Belinda to talk about a tragic loss that we had this week. The young lady from Extra who took her own life. I believe it was reported that her mother said that she dealt with what type of depression, Belinda?
The mother called it high functioning depression.
High functioning depression.
So that's an interesting concept or wording for it. I think the thing that we have to remember is that even though as African Americans, Black Americans, we only make up about 13% of the population, 16% of that 13% suffer from some type of mental illness. So no matter what's presented, if you're the prettiest person in the room and people tell you that, if you're the smartest person in the room and people tell you that, if you don't believe that for yourself and you're battling with words and images go against that, and you're having significant problems, you're having problems sleeping, you're having problems eating, you feel like you don't have any resources, anybody within your circle and talk about it, it's problematic. And it may mean that you are in a state of depression and you should seek some help. If you see someone in your circle that's going through something, go with them to get help. That means that there are about 7 million Black people in America that are suffering from some type of mental illness. And we have to take that into consideration. We have to take it seriously. It's about saying, how are you doing? It's about actually sitting down, having a conversation with people to see where they are in their life at that moment. And that's a tragic loss. But we keep talking about mental health. It needs to be a part of every organization, from the NFL to The View. It needs to be a continuous conversation. And I appreciate the culture for making it part of the conversation today.
Yes.
I know April.
Hotline number is 1-800-273-8255. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. Peace.
No frolicking.
I want my red.